Hello everyone, this is Mr. Shoulders with a one for, and I want to read you a portion of my novel that I am currently writing. I am not finished with the novel, but I recently went over the revised intro of the novel, and I was like, I could be reading this to other people. Other people have read it, and they were very interested into it. They were captured deep into it, and I myself was captured deep into it once I read this revised version, which I've been looking for a long time, because I'm not sure if I saved it on my laptop or not, because it's been over a year since I've been looking for it, and I finally found a digital copy of the revised introduction. So what is the book about? Too long didn't read. Basically, the main character, he's living in 2018. He gets, I guess, transversed to, the year 30,000. He becomes a metahuman through the scientific technology. Not necessarily the technology, but through medicine, through genetic advancements. Then another accident happens, and he ends up in, I'm going to say 1954, and he merges with someone who's relevant to his own body. So their bodies merge, their memories merge. He still has his memories and his powers. Like I said, both memories merge. But the main character's personality overtakes that of the will of the one he fused with. I guess you could think of it as, Goku and Vegeta putting on the Patara earrings and becoming Vegito, and you mostly have a Vegeta personality. Well, this isn't like a Dragon Ball Z fusion. It's very separate from that. It's about a different take on multiverse travel in alignment with time travel. And I know it's really weird, but I have a really interesting take on it that, will be explained once you buy my book, if it's ever published. But who knows if it'll ever be published. So like I said, main character is Shane Richards. The character he fuses with is Shane Richardson, which is the 1954 counterpart. Gotta remember, Shane Richards is it Shane Richards? Alright, it's the year 1957, and Shane Richardson is a metahuman. And Shane Richards is just your slightly less than average high school student. And I guess I'll start from here. I'll try to read fast. That way I don't go to 18 minutes again. 6:45. Shane excused himself from the table, and took Charlie's dish along with his own dish and glass. He tried to hurry to the sink, but the sound of his mother's voice stopped him in his tracks. "Oh, Shane, I can get the dishes." Shane landed his left foot and did an about-face. "Mother, may I wash these particular dishes, please?" Miss Richards hesitated with a confused and frozen look. "Yes, son," Miss Richardson said with a relieved and natural smile. "Yes, you may. My, how nice my son is being today." Mr. Richardson and Charlie chuckled in unison. Mr. Richards, that's typo. The mother gave the father a stern poker face, and for 3 slow seconds, and then stood up and collected 2 dishes with the silverware on top. Shane had already cleaned both his and his brother's dishes, rinsed them, and dried them. By the time his mother walked to the sink, Shane put the dishes away in the top right cabinet, grabbed his pack, bit his family goodbye and left through the back door to the journey to school. Rather than taking the school bus for transport, Shane left early to travel on foot to Mortonsville High School. He needed the time to gather his thoughts, new memories, and verify his physical strength and agility. He unbuttoned his cuffs and rolled them to the beginning of his elbows. Shane started off with a slow jog, progressively transitioning to a running speed of a petty level, well, according to Shane, a small level, according to his own speed. The pace matched that of a 10-minute, 15-second mile-and-a-half run. One word flashed in Shane's mind: Oak Street. Coach Barnes took his routine route on Oak Street, casually driving at 10 to 15 miles per hour. He saw the running boy and barely passed him as he braked to stop at the curb. He rotated the window handle to the passenger side window, lowering it mid-level. He recognized the boy. "Hey you, Shane! Good morning, son. You need a ride?" Shane slid on his feet to a standing position with his back straight, chest noticeably out, and his shoulders flexed, replying, "No, sir, I have a mile left, so I shall be at school between 6 to 7 minutes. Thank you for the offer." Slow motion. Retrospective memory. Take a ride at Oak Street, four-way intersection on a Birch Street. School will be ahead in 7/10 of a mile. No need to run inside of the school. Climb the northeast stairs, go through Bravo Hall, and enter room B202 on your right when inside the first atrium. You'll be early. Teacher will be there, so request to sit in the front row instead of the middle row. Back to reality. Coach Barnes bit his lip for a second and squinted. "I had no clue you could run that fast. You're not even out of breath." Coach opened his mouth again, but the thought did not vocalize. He tilted his head, finally speaking. Did you grow last night? What is with your forearms? Maybe I haven't noticed your build in gym. You are under the radar most of the time." Shane smiled. "Coach, I've been working on my physique so I can be in top shape." Coach Barnes straightened his head, smiling. "Heck, I think I'll let you try out for the junior varsity football team for your sophomore year." Shane's smile widened. End zone defense? The coach's eyes glazed. "I never took you for a sports fan, boy. I'll sleep on it. And, step out of the radar in gym class. I want to see what you can do." Shane narrowed his smile and relaxed his shoulders. "Yes, Coach." As Coach Barnes gave Shane a final nod, he looked forward and commenced his routine. Shane transformed his standing position into an instant dash to running speed. 5.5-minute mile complied with. Through the main entrance, Shane casually treaded to the northeast flight of stairs. The greaser, Jameson Roberts, had been walking northwest towards Shane on a diagonal plane. "Hey, kid, you know the deal, the routine. Lunch money now." Shane made eye contact with Jameson and gave a light chuckle. The change was already in his hand. "Here, man. Here's lunch money. This will get you through the week. When I'm a sophomore, you should come to my house for lunch. We could, work for cash together, like partners." Jameson hesitated. "What the hell is wrong with you? You sound different, man. If this is all the money you got, what are you gonna eat? And what work are you talking about?" The left side of Shane's smile elongated. "I'll manage. And by work, I mean Jimbo's shop. I can drain and replace a car's oil faster than you could ask for a nickel to buy a milkshake. I know my way around a car, and together we could save up enough money for anything our little hearts desire. What do you say?" Jameson gave a blank stare, looked to the left, to the right, and Shane replying, "Shit, man, that don't sound bad. Sounds good. Ain't you a shy flake anymore?" Shane gave a smirk. "Me? Shy? What the hell for? I can run around this school so fast a small town would fucking spin." A facial expression of pleasant surprise displayed on Jameson's shining face. I always took you for a low-life Gandhi," asked Richardson. You're a cool cat. Another smirk from Shane. Fuck cool, Jameson. Just playing the game of life. Shane started up the stairs while Jameson followed. They were in the same geometry class. Good morning, Mr. Blackburn. The Chrome Dome Big Daddy turned to face the two students entering his classroom. Morning, Richardson. Mr. Roberts. Jameson nodded. Shane approached Mr. Blackburn's desk. Sir, may I sit in the front row? Mr. Blackburn stopped writing on his chalkboard and turned about to face Shane, his left hand still up, gripping the chalk. Impressive, Mr. Richardson. Early and willing to improve your learning environment. Front row, center chair. I expect you will do well on today's test. Shane kept his poker face. Likewise, Mr. Blackburn. I have put in more effort towards my studies. Allow me, please, to demonstrate on this test. You have my word. Mr. Blackburn gave a faint smile, nodded, and continued writing instructions on the board while Shane took his new seat and Jameson took his in the back row center seat. Anne Barker, fair-skinned, thick black glasses, and a long checkered skirt, waltzed into the classroom, but came to a dead stop when she saw Shane sitting in her seat. Anne was a strict intellectual and a nerd at heart, shy, never got along with the average girl, inferior to herself. Well, not with many people, really. Mr. Blackburn, for my full potential, I must sit in my assigned seat in the front row. He turned to face her, chuckling lightly. Miss Barker, please take Mr. Richards' old seat in the fourth row. Your perfect score shall not be tainted by sitting in a seat further from the board. But do not question me, young lady. Anne let her head slightly down to present her despair and disappointment. Yes, Mr. Blackburn. Jameson held his ribs and tried not to vocally burst out laughing. He whispered to himself, Oh, shit, Richardson just played her like a game. And with an open smile, Jameson shut his eyes tightly, releasing 2, then 3 tears of joyous pleasure. More students funneled into the classroom until nearly everyone was accounted for 1 minute before the bell. After scanning his classroom, verifying accountability, Mr. Blackburn finally shut the door. I see that all of you are... Wait a second. A female student, Maria Wright, entered the classroom and then made her way to the seat behind Shane. 10 seconds later, the bell rang. Bear with me. Almost done. Almost done. Just a couple minutes left. Time slowed exponentially with the following 10 seconds seeming like 2 minutes. There was something off in Shane's mind and soul. The hair on the back of his neck stood up, and a chill followed up and down his spine. His heartbeat seemed to crescendo in volume while everyone in the room was muffled. Who was this girl, and why or how did she alert him? There were the thoughts running through Shane's mind. Maybe it was nothing. To Shane, it was possibly a hidden crush that the former Richardson had before the merge, but it did not seem plausible. Okay, the metahuman is Richards, and his 1950s counterpart is Richardson. Okay. Just, there we go. But it didn't seem plausible. Shane would have had those memories. Richardson had no crush. But neither did Richards. Shane would have... Okay. Maria Wright was recognized, but Shane could not quite figure out how she could trigger such hyperactive electromagnetism within his body. After 10 seconds of the chill, time resumed at its already normal pace. Anxiety poisoning, Shane let out a sigh to bring himself to homeostasis. Mr. Richardson, I am confident that you will do well. You did give me your word. Shane smiled. Yes, sir. Mr. Blackburn handed the sack of tests to the far left person of the front row, smiling. Very good, then. You all have 40 minutes to finish. You may use scratch paper, but you will have to turn it in with your test. You may begin once you have received your test, and I will start the timer. Mr. Blackburn picked up the egg timer from his stack of tests and turned the dial clockwise to 42 minutes. Little did Shane know, Maria Wright experienced the same sudden shock when she sat down in her seat behind Shane. It was as if she knew him for all of her life, but this would be the first time seeing him. It felt as such. She was too hasty to notice his face, and out of desperate curiosity, she wanted to see Shane. No, she needed to see Shane. This was Maria's self-realization. She questioned how much she had taken for granted at that point. Anxiety poisoning. A temporary symptom of both despair and joy. Knock, knock, Miss Wright. And then a simultaneous sigh shared with Shane Richardson resumed the normal flow of time. Maria blinked twice and rubbed her eyes. She felt the confusion that is trauma, but she did not know why. A soft, hearty laugh was expelled from her throat as a reaction to Mr. Blackburn's wit directed at Shane. Shane turned his head 110 degrees to catch a glimpse of Maria. Maria could only see less than half of Shane's face and nearly lost the mental capture as Shane turned to face front, which slightly agitated Maria. Anxiety poisoning, a new but curiously familiar desire for ale and rich tobacco, that which Maria had never had. Meeting Shane would be the instant cure for her anxiety. No more chills. Please. And that was it. And it's 17 minutes, but hopefully you were so captured by it that you stuck along. And if you stuck along, let me know in the comment section. That way, when I do a video in the future, I can give you my shoutouts. That way I can get you some recognition for what you've done for me. So, you stuck through. It's under 18 minutes, but it's almost 18 minutes. Shit!